What if Count Dooku trained Anakin? In The Phantom Menace, we witnessed Qui-Gon's death and how he made Obi-Wan promise to train Anakin in the ways of the Force. Over the next 13 years, Obi-Wan taught him everything he knew, and although the two became almost like brothers, Anakin eventually fell to the dark side and became Darth Vader. But what if things were different? What if Dooku was the one to train Anakin instead of Obi-Wan? How different would things have played out if he took it upon himself to train Anakin on his own? Well, in this alternate timeline, that's exactly what we'll be diving into, so let's get right into it. Our story begins towards the start of the epic showdown between Darth Maul, Qui-Gon Jinn, and Obi-Wan Kenobi. Maul had just revealed himself to the two Jedi, and now the three were clashing sabers. However, this is where our story is different from the original. As this duel was going on, Palpatine sat in his office and went deep in thought. He thought to himself, something felt off. Although he had faith in Maul and his abilities, he sensed that his apprentice wouldn't be victorious in this duel. He sensed weakness in Maul. This was a problem, because Palpatine didn't want any Jedi surviving that duel, neither Obi-Wan Kenobi nor Qui-Gon Jinn. Both of them had to be dead. So Palpatine then made a calculated decision. Without hesitation, he had to contact the replacement he already had from all if things took a turn, Count Dooku. A few years ago, Dooku left the Jedi Order because of how corrupt they had become, so Palpatine took advantage of that. Over the past years, Palpatine had been manipulating Dooku and slowly teaching him the ways of the dark side. Throughout their time together, Dooku has proved on multiple occasions that he was loyal to their cause, but he wasn't ready to be pledged as a full Sith. Not yet, at least. One day, Palpatine would replace Maul with Dooku as his new apprentice, but now wasn't that time. For now, the Jedi had to be eliminated, and Palpatine had to make sure of it. So he contacted Dooku immediately.
Yes, my lord.
Count Dooku, I sense a disturbance in the Force, almost as if Lord Maul does not have what it takes to defeat the two Jedi. I need you to go to Naboo and ensure that neither Jedi survive. Kill them both.
What? Are you asking me to kill Qui-Gon Jinn? You've gone too far.
If you won't, Lord Maul will.
No, that was not part of our deal. Qui-Gon is to remain unharmed.
It seems that your feelings for your old apprentice have left you weakened, my old friend. That is most disappointing.
Dooku paused. He loved Qui-Gon. He couldn't kill him, he just couldn't.
But he could be a powerful ally.
For you, perhaps. If we are to achieve our goals, sacrifices are required, all in service of our greater goals.
Have I not achieved our goals? Sifo Dyas, Camino, the clones? I have betrayed everyone and everything I know, but I will not kill Qui-Gon Jinn.
So be it. It seemed you are unloyal to our cause. If you will not deal with the Jedi, then I will myself.
No. I will go.
Good. Once you are finished, report to me at once. I will be most eager to hear about your mission.
From there, Dooku hung up, and with that, he set off for the planet of Naboo. As Dooku arrived, he made his way to the palace hangar on Naboo, where he sensed the duel was taking place. However, there was one problem. As he was walking through the hangar, he heard nothing, not a single sound. He thought to himself, was their duel already over? More importantly though, was Qui-Gon okay? Dooku kept walking through the palace. However, because he couldn't hear a sound, he started making his way towards the back where the generator core room was. So Dooku kept walking and walking when all of a sudden he heard someone crying? It was coming from the generator core room. What was going on? So Dooku quickly rushed towards the room, but when he did, he witnessed the unthinkable. It was there where he saw Qui-Gon Jinn laying in the arms of his apprentice, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Although Dooku knew all about Obi-Wan, the two never met until now. Dooku then looked over at Qui-Gon. Was he dead? No, he couldn't be. Then Obi-Wan spoke up.
He's gone.
No, he can't be.
Dooku swelled with rage.
Who did this? Was it a Sith Lord?
Obi-Wan held back tears.
Yes, it was, Master Dooku. He killed him.
And where is this Sith now?
He's dead. I killed him. But Master Qui-Gon didn't make it.
Dooku had enough. He was tired of Palpatine's games, his manipulations, everything. For years he made so many sacrifices for him. But now Now, he was done. This had gone too far. Dooku was fed up. He then looked over at Obi-Wan, who still had tears in his eyes. No matter what crimes Dooku had done in the past, he refused to hurt Obi-Wan. He refused to kill him. He and Obi-Wan might be the only people in this world who knew what a great man Qui-Gon Jinn was. The Jedi Council never knew it, Palpatine never knew it, but Dooku and Obi-Wan did.
Obi-Wan, is it?
Yes, sir.
Qui-Gon always spoke so highly of you. Do not take blame for this.
I know, but if only I was with him, I could have...
No, do not take the blame for this.
Dooku wanted to say more. This wasn't Obi-Wan's fault. This was Darth Sidious's fault, and nobody else's. However, he held back from saying anything. Although he wanted to tell Obi-Wan about Darth Sidious, he felt he was way too young to understand what was going on right now.
Leave this place now. Contact the Council immediately, and let them know what has transpired here.
Yes, sir. Where are you going?
I will stay.
Obi-Wan nodded. He knew better than to ask any more questions. So with that, he rushed back to the hangar and took off. However, as Dooku stayed behind, he went deep in thought. His chest felt tight. He was devastated. He loved Qui-Gon. He taught him everything he knew. This wasn't how his story was supposed to end. Dooku then looked down at Qui-Gon's body. As he did, he said,
I swear it. I will avenge you, my old friend. I promise.
From there, Dooku started to walk away. However, as he did, he felt something unusual in the Force. Something strong. Something powerful. Although Dooku couldn't pinpoint what it was, he felt like it was coming from near the hangar. Whatever was going on was coming from there. So, Dooku made his way to the hangar, but as he did, he saw a young boy. However, this boy looked lost. He looked scared.
Master Obi-Wan? Master Qui-Gon? Hello? Is anybody there?
That boy. Dooku recognized him. That was the boy that Palpatine spoke so highly of. The boy that was rumored to be the chosen one. Although he never saw him up close before, that had to be him. That was what was so strong in the Force. From what Palpatine told him, this boy was taken away from his mother and was now brought into the Jedi Order. This was unusual, since normally the Jedi don't accept children at such a late age. Dooku thought to himself, there must be something unique about him if they did. So he then walked up to the boy.
Hi, sir. Have you seen Master Qui-Gon and Master Obi-Wan? They were here not long ago. I wanted to tell them that we won. The Trade Federation ship is now blown up.
My boy, Qui-Gon Jinn, is dead.
Anakin froze. He felt numb. What? Master Qui-Gon was dead? No, he couldn't be.
What about Master Obi-Wan?
From what I saw, he already left and is headed back to Coruscant. It appears he had more pressing matters to attend to.
Anakin shed a tear. He was devastated. He thought Obi-Wan cared about him. Why would he leave, he thought to himself.
You must be Anakin Skywalker. I am Count Dooku. I used to be Qui-Gon Jinn's master.
Pleased to meet you, sir, but how did Master Qui-Gon die?
He was killed by a mysterious Sith Lord. Unfortunately, I warned the Jedi for years of this growing darkness, but they chose to ignore everything I told them. Such is the cost of ignorance.
Anakin went silent. At that moment, Dooku's thoughts shifted. Wait a minute, what if he trained Anakin himself? What if that could be his way of getting revenge on Sidious? If Anakin was as gifted in the Force as Sidious said, then he could train him himself. Together, they could be unstoppable and could finally put an end to this corrupt republic.
Young Skywalker, believe it or not, I too was once a Jedi, but I left after I saw through their lies and hypocrisy. At the moment, they are blindly serving a corrupt Senate that fails the Republic it represents. In time, the Jedi Order will collapse, and by then, it will be far too late for you. I offer you a choice, my boy. Join me, and we will put an end to it. We can bring peace back to the galaxy, and we will avenge Qui-Gon Jinn's death.
Anakin froze. He couldn't join him. He wanted to be a Jedi.
But sir, I wanted to be a Jedi.
Yes, and where has that gotten you? From what I understand, they forced you to be away from your mother, and they didn't even bother freeing her either. And I can only assume the Jedi Council was not so warm and welcoming due to your late age.
Anakin paused. He was right. Everything Master Dooku said was right.
Join me, young Skywalker. I will show you power beyond what the Jedi will ever teach you. And in time, you will free your mother. I guarantee it.
Free his mother? Anakin was beside himself. That would mean so much to him. Although he was scared, lost, and confused, in a way he trusted Master Dooku. If everything he was saying was true, then maybe this was for the best. Anakin couldn't decline this offer.
Okay. I will join you, Master Dooku.
Good. Let us leave this planet. From there we shall begin your training at once, young Skywalker.
13 years had passed since Anakin joined Dooku, and under Dooku's training, his life completely changed. Over the years, Anakin had not only become stronger in the Force, but he also became a way more disciplined and more skilled duelist had he stayed with the Jedi Order. During this time, Dooku trained Anakin brutally each and every day and taught him everything he knew about both sides of the Force and lightsaber combat. Although their training was hard, the results were beyond measure. Anakin had become stronger by the day and become a much more powerful warrior than he could ever imagine. However, there was one issue. Anakin's identity had to remain a secret from both the Jedi and Darth Sidious. Dooku made sure of this because he knew that if word got around that Anakin was still alive, Sidious would try to take him for himself. He figured that Sidious probably had a new apprentice by now, but he couldn't risk losing Anakin to him. Not only that, but the Jedi also believed that Anakin was dead, and Dooku intended to keep it that way. Ever since the events on Naboo, they never heard word from the young boy ever again, so they assumed he died in battle against the Trade Federation. So, just like Qui-Gon Jinn, the Jedi also mourned the loss of Anakin Skywalker. However, to ensure Anakin was kept hidden, Dooku had a plan. Over these past years, he trained Anakin back on his home planet of Sereno and made sure that Anakin's skills grew by the day, all while remaining in hiding. It was there where Dooku took Anakin under his wing, but he didn't just teach him how to become a skilled duelist. Dooku also spent a lot of time sharing stories with Anakin about his time as a Jedi and also the journeys he'd gone with Qui-Gon Jinn. Just like Dooku, Anakin always appreciated Qui-Gon as he was the only one who had faith in him. Unlike Qui-Gon, the rest of the Jedi Council just treated him like an outcast, like a monster. However, to Anakin's surprise, Dooku understood his pain. Over the years, Dooku taught Anakin to embrace his emotions, all while staying controlled, tactical, and disciplined. This, of course, was the complete opposite to what the Jedi's teachings were. In Dooku's eyes, one of the biggest flaws of the Jedi Order is that they've always forced their Jedi to ignore their emotions and thoughts. In his opinion, that's why they were so blinded by their own ignorance. Dooku believed that embracing emotions was essential to one's life, so he encouraged Anakin to do that, all while maintaining control over himself. As a result, Anakin was extremely grateful for his master's teachings, and the two really developed a strong bond. However, not only did they have a strong connection, but they each wielded their own red lightsaber. At one point, Dooku brought Anakin to the planet of Ilum, and although a blue kyber crystal called out to Anakin, that all quickly changed. After some time, he and Dooku each used the dark side to bleed out their blue crystals to form them to the color of red. Although neither of them were true Sith, they definitely weren't Jedi, but were ready to take control of the galaxy together. Now, years later, everything had gone according to Dooku's plan, and they were getting closer and closer to their ultimate goal, to overthrow Darth Sidious. Over the past years, the Clone Wars started without Dooku, and although it was him who was supposed to be the face of the Separatist movement, now he wasn't. Since Dooku chose to leave Sidious's side, Sidious was forced to find new representatives for the Separatist cause. So he did just that and controlled both sides of the war, this time without Dooku. Although Dooku had an itch to take down the Republic, he had an even bigger plan, but it would require patience. So, over the past 13 years, Anakin and Dooku remained in hiding together on Sereno and stayed calm and patient until their day would eventually come. Soon, the galaxy would belong to them, and peace would be restored when the time was right. However, there was one problem. Anakin was getting impatient. He saw the Clone Wars take place, and he wanted to be out there himself. For so long, Dooku forced him to remain in hiding, and although Anakin was grateful for his master, he wanted more. He was tired of staying in the shadows. He wanted to be out there. So, Anakin decided to approach his master, who was in his lair.
Master Dooku.
Yes, young Skywalker.
I know you've always wanted me to remain hidden until the time was right. But Master, when is that time? I've never fought a single Jedi before. Yes, I've practiced against you and our training droids that you've collected, but that's about it. I should be out there.
Have patience, young Skywalker. Soon our time will come, but we must wait for that exact moment.
Yes, and you've always said that, but when? What are we waiting for exactly?
I suppose you are now old enough to understand what is at hand. Allow me to explain, my boy. Each and every clone trooper that is now part of the Republic Army is programmed with inhibitor chips. These chips were established with the help of the Kaminoan scientists, as well as Darth Sidious and I's work many years ago. By now, you know who Darth Sidious is, and what we are after.
Yes, you told me we were going to overthrow him, but when?
Patience, my boy. What you don't know is that Darth Sidious is controlling both sides of the war. He is currently disguised as the Chancellor of the Galactic Republic. Chancellor Sheev Palpatine. The Jedi are not aware the Dark Lord of the Sith is hiding beneath their noses as we speak. However, soon, very soon, Darth Sidious will make his presence known. Soon he will execute a command called Protocol 66, which will force each and every clone trooper to turn against the Jedi. From there, the Jedi will all be but destroyed, and he will plan to rule as the new Galactic Emperor.
You always told me he was dangerous, but I never knew that.
Ah, yes. But this is where we come into play, young Skywalker. Once the time is right, we shall confront Sidious in his office with whomever his new apprentice is. Knowing him, he's found a replacement for me by now. If all goes well, then the galaxy will be in our hands. We shall expose Sidious for his crimes against the Republic, and we shall bring peace and order to the galaxy.
I understand, my master. But how will we know when the time is? I mean, he could be executing this Protocol 66 whenever, right?
My boy, we will sense this disturbance in the Force the moment it happens. Let Sidious command his clones. We want that to happen. Once we expose him for his crimes, exposing his work behind the inhibitor chips will make our rise to power even easier. The Republic will see us as heroes, Skywalker, and they will no longer have to serve a corrupt leader.
I understand.
I have taught you everything I know, young Skywalker. You have become a much stronger warrior than I could ever imagine. Once Sidious is defeated, we will be the only two Sith in the galaxy, and your journey towards the dark side will be even greater. Have patience, my boy. Everything will go as planned.
Anakin paused.
Master, can I ask you something?
Of course, young Skywalker.
Over a decade ago, when I joined you as a boy, you promised we'd be able to free my mother. I've done my best to stay patient, since you've always told me how risky it would be going to Tatooine myself. But when will I finally be able to see her again? I miss her.
My boy, after we take this galaxy for ourselves, you can do all as you wish. I did promise you we'd free her once you were strong enough in the Force, did I not?
You did.
Exactly. And so when we do finish our plan, you may do so as you wish with your mother. She could live in Coruscant with us. Anything you please, Skywalker. The galaxy will be completely yours. However, you must stay hidden. Nobody can know you are still alive, young Skywalker. Our time will come very, very soon. Even perhaps sooner than you expect.
Anakin nodded, and from there he left Dooku's lair. Although he was calm when speaking to his master, Anakin was frustrated inside. Part of him was furious. Dooku promised that he was going to save his mother, but it's been 13 years now, and now he has to wait even longer? Anakin was tired of being locked up on the same planet. It's all he's known for most of his life now. He wanted to be with his mother. He wanted to fight on the battlefield. Anakin felt held back. Although he appreciated his master, he couldn't help but want more. He craved more control, more power, more freedom. Anakin quickly stopped himself. No, he couldn't think like that. He had to be patient. If all went according to him and his master's plan, he'll have everything he ever wanted. Everything.
Execute Order 66.
With those very words said, Order 66 was executed and chaos was spread across the galaxy. Minute by minute, the Jedi Order began to collapse and the Empire was getting closer and closer to rising to power. However, as this occurred, Anakin felt the disturbance. His master was right. He's never felt something so strong and so dark before. So, Anakin approached Dooku in his lair right away and the two spoke.
Master, have you felt it?
Yes, my apprentice. Now we will thrive in the chaos that plagues this galaxy. We depart for Coruscant at once.
Yes, my master.
With that, the two set off for Coruscant. As time passed, Dooku and Anakin arrived on Coruscant and made their way up to Palpatine's office. As for Anakin though, this was a huge change for him. He hadn't seen Coruscant ever since he was a boy, and although he was here strictly for a mission, he loved the thought of possibly ruling from right here on this planet. All he'd seen these past 13 years was Sereno, so being here was such a shock for him. However, now wasn't the time for weakness. They had a mission to complete. So as Dooku and Anakin stormed into Palpatine's office, they saw the Chancellor sitting right there. However, he wasn't alone. Next to him was a hooded figure with black robes. Wait, was that?
Count Dooku.
Palpatine turned from his chair. His face was deformed. Dooku thought to himself, what happened to him?
I am impressed to see that you have survived throughout all these years, even after you betrayed me.
Palpatine looked down on the ground.
You remember Master Windu, don't you?
Dooku looked down as well. It was there where Windu's head was just sitting there on the ground. Mace Windu was dead?
Ah, yes. He and his 3 pathetic Jedi attempted to overthrow my apprentice and I, but as you see, it did not work in their favor. Now, my old friend, it seems you are far too late. The Jedi Order is collapsing by the minute, and soon, very soon, this galaxy will be reformed into the new Galactic Empire. My apprentice and I will make sure of that.
Dooku looked at Palpatine's apprentice again. Who was he?
Ah, yes. I don't believe you two were ever acquainted with one another. This is my apprentice, Darth Maul.
Maul? How is he alive? Didn't Obi-Wan kill him?
Years after you betrayed me back on Naboo, I quickly discovered that Maul survived his injuries. Now he has become a much more powerful Sith than you were ever destined to be, my old friend.
I told you this years ago, Lord Sidious. You went too far by killing my apprentice. He could have been a powerful ally, yet you chose otherwise.
Oh no, don't blame me for that. My apprentice here was the one who killed him in cold blood. It seems your training towards Qui-Gon Jinn was a failure. You already let one of your apprentices down. Now it seems you are doing the same with young Skywalker.
Anakin froze. How did he know his name?
Yes. Did you really think I did not sense you were training Skywalker in secret? You truly are clumsy as you are stupid, Count Dooku.
You left me with no choice, Sidious. I sacrificed everything for you. I betrayed everything and everyone I know for our cause. But you only wanted more.
Such is the price for power, but you were just too weak.
Palpatine looked at Anakin.
You see, young Skywalker, your master abandoned the Jedi Order. He abandoned me, and soon he will do the same with you. He claims he wants peace in this galaxy, but just like his master Yoda, he's a coward.
Anakin went deep in thought. He couldn't believe what he was hearing.
Join me, young Skywalker, and I will show you true power beyond what Count Dooku could ever teach you.
Anakin felt conflicted. Wait, could Palpatine help him save his mother? Would he finally be able to do that?
Ignore him, Skywalker. Let us take them together and bring an end to this.
Anakin nodded his head. His master was right. So from there, he and Dooku ignited their red lightsabers.
It's treason, then.
Palpatine and Maul ignited theirs. From there, Palpatine then leaped towards Dooku and Anakin, and it was now a duel between the four of them. Splashes of red spread throughout the Chancellor's office as the four clashed sabers. Because it was a 2v2, Dooku and Palpatine began to fight against one another, while Anakin and Maul took their own 1v1. However, Maul was no match for Anakin. As the two clashed, Maul realized how powerful Anakin was, and how he truly was an elite duelist. For years, Sidious spoke so much about Anakin, but witnessing him up close was a different story. Maul sensed that Anakin had hatred, he sensed that he had anger, but he was able to control these emotions and use them to his advantage. Maul was so impressed. However, the fight was prolonging too much. Anakin wanted to end this once and for all. So, as the two clashed, Anakin finally got the upper hand on Maul. Out of nowhere, Anakin was able to knock his saber out of his hands and quickly force push him to the ground. Now, Maul was on the floor, weaponless. However, Anakin wasn't done. Then he quickly force-pulled Maul's saber into his hands and now held both sabers right above Maul's neck. As Maul sat on his knees, he realized he was no match for Anakin's power in the dark side. He had lost. As the two stood there, Anakin turned around and watched as Dooku and Palpatine were still clashing back and forth. Although Dooku was a skilled master, it seemed like he was struggling against Sidious. Anakin heard so much about this Sidious person for years, and it seemed like everything that Dooku said about him was right. The way he moved, the way he fought, it was so impressive.
You have made a mistake, Skywalker.
Anakin turned around.
I know what you're thinking. You believe that if you join my master, he will show you power that the pretender Dooku never taught you. However, you're wrong.
Enough. I didn't ask you to speak.
Oh, but you'll want to hear what I have to say. Your master stands no chance against Sidious. Any moment now, he will be defeated by him, and you will be left with a choice, Skywalker. Sidious will present you with an opportunity to join him, but just like me, he will only use you as a tool. I did not join him of my own free will, my boy. Sidious killed my brother in front of my own eyes. I was left with no other choice. You have raw power, Skywalker. But if you join him, you'll always be nothing more than his pet. However, join me, and together, we can destroy Sidious.
Anakin had enough. This small person was making him furious. However, before he knew it, he heard a yell. Anakin turned around. Dooku was now on the floor, and Sidious was cackling. However, as Anakin's back was turned, Maul tried to quickly take his lightsaber back, but then... Without hesitation, Anakin stabbed Maul right through his chest the moment he tried to attack him. It was over. Darth Maul was dead. As Anakin stood there, he was shocked. That was his very first kill. For so long, he had been trapped, held back, limited, but killing Maul felt so good. It felt thrilling.
Good. Very good, young Skywalker. Maul was a fool. Just like your master, he was just a placeholder for my true apprentice. You.
Anakin went numb. What? He wanted him to be his apprentice? Wait, that's exactly what Maul said. Anakin then looked over at Dooku, who was still on the ground. Then before he knew it, Sidious began torturing Dooku with Force Lightning. Anakin had never seen such a barrage of Force Lightning before. He's never seen such power. Although Dooku taught him the basics of Force Lightning years ago, what Sidious was doing was way different. What he was doing was way stronger and way deadlier. For years, Anakin always looked up to Dooku, but now he saw him as weak. He was just no match for Darth Sidious. Then out of nowhere, Sidious stopped torturing him. However, Dooku was seriously injured. He could barely breathe.
Count Dooku, only now at the end do you understand that your actions have consequences, my old friend.
Palpatine then looked at Anakin.
Young Skywalker, complete your training. Strike your master down and become my new apprentice.
Anakin froze. He felt so conflicted. Kill Dooku? His own master? Although he had resentment towards him, he never imagined killing him. No, he couldn't do that, right?
Ah, yes. I sense the conflict in you. Perhaps you should know the truth about your master. Your mother is dead, Skywalker. She's been for years.
Anakin went numb. What?
Killed by Tusken Raiders on your homeworld of Tatooine. However, your master knew that if you found out about this, you would try to kill him out of revenge. He's been afraid of your power for a long while now, my boy. He couldn't even bring himself to tell you the truth. He only wanted to use you for his own gain. Don't you see?
Anakin swelled up with rage. His eyes turned into a blazing yellow and red, something that had only happened a few times in his life. Then he looked at Dooku.
Is this true?
Dooku went silent. He was too injured to even speak.
Strike him down. Get your revenge and allow us to rule the galaxy as master and apprentice. Together we shall avenge your mother's death.
Anakin had enough. He's never felt anger more than in this very moment. So Anakin then ignited his crimson red saber and approached Dooku, who was still on his knees. From there, Dooku used all his strength to speak up to Anakin.
I'm sorry, Skywalker.
Anakin ignored him. His master's words meant nothing.
Die well, my old master.
With one strike of his blade, Anakin sliced Dooku's head off. It was done. Count Dooku was dead. As Anakin stood there, he was speechless. He's never felt so powerful before.
Good. Very good. Now, kneel before me, young Skywalker.
Anakin kneeled.
Your master was weak, but you have power. You have hatred, and now it is time to use it, my boy. Become my apprentice. Learn to know the true power of the dark side, and I will teach you everything that your master failed to do.
I pledge myself to your teachings.
Good. The Force is strong with you. A powerful Sith you will become. Henceforth, you shall be known as Darth Vader.